Let's look at Lucid. Let me try that again. Let's look at Lucas Patrick's tape from last night. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Starting off right away, I do have to put this disclaimer for anyone who is curious. The reason why I'm not going to just show the play entirely and just hit play and show the play is because if I did that, the NFL would take down my video. So the way we have to do this is how I have it set up, where it's like I do slow motion of the video, break it down that way. Just going to say that in case anyone is curious. If I could just show it and just play the video, I would. But I have to do it slow for this reason. So starting off right away, Lucas Patrick is going to be pretty simply every single time in the same location. If you're new to this, the location is going to be at the right guard position. He doesn't play anything but right guard, so we don't have to worry about finding him. He is right here every single time. So first play is going to be a run play to Chase Brown. So hikes. I just realized Chase Brown could have definitely went right here. Does he? No, he does go left, which I feel like he should have cut back. I don't know. Again, Monday morning quarterback, right? Looking back at a guy to play like this, you can always say, well, he should have did this, he should have done that. But yeah, so first play was not bad in run blocking department. He had his guy. He was one-on-one. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. Next play later. This is a pass blocking play. This ends up being a little dimp down pass to the left-hand side. On this play, you can see they are bringing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different players at Joe Burrow here. So they're bringing a decent amount on this blitz. And it looks like actually number 4 does actually drop back. So it ends up being 1, 2, 3, 4 guys total. So number 4 does drop back here, and he drops back in coverage. Now this ends up being a really weird overload here. So you can see we have 2 guys who are going to come in here. So first off, Orlando Brown Jr. ends up not blocking this guy, and instead he's going to go for this guy, which allows him to be a free blitzer straight at Joe Burrow. So ends up being a free blitzer at Joe Burrow here, which obviously the ball is thrown over top. No big deal. Lucas Patrick, though, does a pretty good job on this play. No real complaint right here. He has his guy. He's one-on-one, and there's really no issue here. Next play later. It's going to go and be a pass play here. This one, you can see P. Ryan is in here as a blocker. We got Mims right here is moving his guy around. But one-on-one for Lucas Patrick actually does a pretty good job. Yeah, no, look. 94. I mean, it's a double team. They're double teaming him. But for the most part, he does a pretty good job against 94. Not bad at all. So far, so good for Lucas Patrick. Next play later. Run play. Again, a little bit of a mess right there. Meaning a mess, meaning a lot of players together. But no real issue, I would say, for the most part on that play. Run plays are always difficult to really judge or, I guess, blame an offensive lineman. Unless the guy just simply gets pushed to the ground. Most of the time, it happens so quickly. It's harder to blame offensive linemen for that one play. One-on-one here. Let's see. Yeah, no. I mean, again, so far, no complaints. Which, if you remember back to the first preseason game we talked about, the first preseason game, for the most part, there was a couple plays where Lucas Patrick looked bad. But for the most part, he did a decent job. And he did, do what he was supposed to. There wasn't really big issues. Okay, so this one, he's going to get kind of pushed back here. You can see that now the guy is trying to get the inside leverage on him to push him back. And it ends up being, how many guys are blitzing here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys are blitzing on this play. So no one's going to drop back. And you can see this number 4 ends up becoming a free blitzer, right? So we got a block and release play here, which Orlando Brown's going to get him. And then number 4 ends up becoming a free blitzer, which makes it so that Chase Brown has to pick up number 4 as the free blitzer. But he picks up number 4 well. Lucas Patrick actually does a really good job one-on-one there. Ends up being PI on the play. But does a really good job of going one-on-one with that guy. Especially from an overload blitz perspective. You know, does a decent job. Now, right here, he's going to be a one-on-one with this guy. We'll see how this turns out. Yeah, no, again, like I said, you know, this is, I can want to say this is why, like, when he really does have bad reps, he looks so freaking atrocious. But there's a lot of reps, again, last week where he didn't look that bad. He really didn't. So let's see this. This is a better angle. But, yeah, one-on-one with his guy here. So, no, not having any double team help. Who gets thrown to the ground? Okay, so Teddy Case ends up getting thrown to the ground here. And this is not when Lucas Patrick gets hurt, I don't think. So at what point Lucas Patrick gets hurt and he's out for the rest of the game, this would look like the play that would be the injury. If I had to guess one play to be the injury, it would be that one, because Teddy K ends up landing right on the back of the hamstring of, what's his name? Of Lucas Patrick. So I'm surprised that would not be the injury, but it's not, because he does play the next play later. So he actually ends up getting pushed back here. So he gets like shoved backwards. And when he gets shoved backwards, he actually ends up letting that guy go in and get the running back. So I guess there is a play here where you could say technically, but at the same time though, I really don't even put that on Lucas Patrick. Because, I mean, unless you're going to hold, you're not going to stop him from getting to the running back on that one. Next play later. Hike the ball. Okay, so this guy is kind of just sitting here watching. He's probably going to drop back or he's going to blitz. So let's see what's going on here with the line. I mean, for the most part, not a bad situation here. Joe has all day. He throws it to the right-hand side, completed to Drew Sample. 4th and goal. Run play up the middle. Touchdown. Yeah, I mean, again, like, it's funny, too, because the one play we know about that we talked about earlier was so atrocious. But other than that one play, I see why he graded well. Okay. Run play again. We got him right here. It's going to be a run play straight up the middle. But, yeah, again, for the most part, run plays, not bad. All right. So this one, they do have a running back in there to block as well. But we do have that one-on-one matchup. And does not get beat. No. Again, like that, yeah. I'm actually surprised because now looking back at it, I expected a lot worse. But he actually, so far, he's done everything almost perfect. Now, this play ends up being a toss up. So, hold up. Okay. So, he looks like he's going to double team over here. So, at first, Lucas looks like he's going to double team to the left, right? Doesn't end up doing that. Ends up cutting back to the right, looking at the right here, and helping pick up this guy right here. Obviously, balls get thrown over top to Taj Brooks. Ends up being incomplete. But actually, good play right there by Lucas. He actually ends up going from one guy to the next guy in order to get him. So this is a play we talked about earlier, right? Guy goes... Okay, so... what it looks like for me, okay, this is my perspective. This guy right here, if he's blitzing, he drops, okay? He drops back. But if he's blitzing, he's going one-on-one with Orlando Brown, right? This guy right here, which we all know now is Armstrong. he's going one-on-one with Lucas Patrick. So he's going to go right through Lucas Patrick, and it ends up being... Actually, this guy doesn't... I thought he dropped. He doesn't drop. But it looks like Tanner Hudson actually picks him up. Yeah, Tanner Hudson does a block and release play. But as you can see right here, he goes one-on-one with Lucas Patrick. Mims ends up trying to help him, but ends up obviously failing because he's already getting past Lucas Patrick. But on this play, I saw someone comment before in my video and said, well, it was actually Mims' fault too, right? Because Mims right here, he's going to, was this guy supposed to be blocked by Mims? I don't think so. I think Mims is supposed to wait for the block and release play, and then his job is to go against this guy. That's Mims' job, is to go against this guy right here. Lucas Patrick is one-on-one with number 94. So this play is fully on Lucas Patrick. I know, yes, it looks like the guy got past Mims, but it's because the fact that Mims tries to help, but in reality, the player gets right past Lucas Patrick on this play. It's a one-on-one, and he goes straight through Lucas Patrick. Obviously, Joe rolls out to the right-hand side, cuts back, and then this is the play we talked about before, which was the, hands up like, oh, I don't know who blew. I wasn't holding anyone. What the heck? Instead of trying to block one of these three defenders that are going for your quarterback, he instead decides to put his hands up and act like, oh, I wasn't holding. He pushes this guy, if you could call it much of a push, and then, of course, he ends up getting a sack on the play. Now, right here, because someone did comment this down below, I think it was Dreamy and somebody else, that Orlando Brown Jr. right here, when Joe Burrow rolls out to his right-hand side, or left-hand side here, right? When he's coming back, Orlando Brown Jr., like, what are you doing? You should be running, you should be trying to get this guy, right? Look at his head, okay? His head is looking here, okay? So, let's just imagine, like, a field of view, right? I don't think Orlando Brown Jr. knew exactly where Joe was at this moment in time, because he's looking this way. So, by the time he looks back and he sees Joe, this is, I think, his first sight of seeing Joe, Orlando Brown Jr. At this point, you're not going to stop the defender, right? Could he have moved and tried to do something? Absolutely. But I don't think he was going to stop the defender at that point, Like, again, you could say maybe this is a little bit of awareness issue, right? Because he should be very aware of what's going on the play. But, again, like I said, he doesn't really see him until right here. At earliest, right here. Could he have tried to grab the guy? Yes. Again, Orlando Brown Jr. is not, quote-unquote, innocent in this concept. But it's also the factor that, by the time he sees him, it's not like we're seeing someone, it's not like he maliciously did that and just let the guy go. He didn't. But this is, again, the play. Guy gets through. Bam, 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 right? Gets straight through Lucas Patrick and gets straight to the quarterback. So that was a huge mistake. That was a huge L on Lucas Patrick's point of view. But so far, again, looking at all the tape so far, that was one mistake out of not many. Not many at all. I mean, I'd say, actually, probably the only mistake I've seen so far. Run play here, right? Taj Brooks could go like that. But one-on-one, he has his guy. Not bad. Like, literally not bad at all. Next play later, pass play here. Now, this ends up being a quick pass to Taj Brooks because look at this right here. So this is, okay, number 2. The guy's going right through him to Joe Burrow, okay? If you watch his play, so it's not a screen pass. It looks like a screen pass, but it ends up just being, it has to be a quick pass to the right-hand side. But you can see this guy he's going straight through Lucas Patrick. So, gets beat on that play. Now, I'm not sure if throughout the night, maybe that, Teddy K falling on him, maybe that really hurt him, like, long term. And throughout the night, it got worse and worse. That's always a possibility. But this is definitely not a good play. He got a little bit, he got beat one-on-one there. This next play, back to being pretty good. No complaints at all. One-on-one, looking pretty good. Pass thrown down the field, complete to Chuck Sizzle. Here's another look at it. And again, pretty good job. I mean, no complaints at all on that play. Did a really good job of blocking his guy one-on-one. Did exactly what you want to see. Next play later. So this one, he's a pulling guard. So his job here is to go to the left-hand side and pull this guy out so that Taj Brooks can go like this. So it's a little bit of a play like that. And it ends up being a holding call, I believe, on the play. So next play later. Pass play here. Again. No real complaints. Like, again, it's one of those things where so far, two plays he messed up. Now, the first week 1, I counted, I believe, one mistake in the whole game. One mistake that was ugly in the whole game. This week, I counted 2 so far. So this one, the guy does try to get outside leverage on Lucas Patrick, but Lucas actually does a really good job. So what he's going to do here is kind of try to push the guy around, right? Create that end around type of concept. We see it all the time with right tackles. Mims, for example, loves doing this. And usually what happens is left tackle, right tackle, you want to push the guy around like this, right? Kind of create that little circle for your quarterback so he has time to throw the football. Exactly what happens here. Joe Burrow under pressure. Joe Burrow gets sacked on the play. So who is really, honestly... Oh, Joe. Oh, my. Joe, you kill me, bro. You're killing me, Joe. This was an unnecessary hit. This was 100% an unnecessary hit. So he's going to drop back like here, which causes this sack to happen. This is not an issue of the offensive line right here. This is not the fault of the offensive line. Because you can't, unless you're going to hold your guy, there's nothing really you can do. Joe Burrow has daylight right here if he wants to run. He instead rolls backwards, which causes the sack. Even when he rolls backwards here, if he looks over here, right? He has daylight over here. There is plenty of room. He just rolls back to his right-hand side. And then obviously there's a penalty for horse collar, which ends up being a penalty flag. But that right there is not on the offensive line. The offensive line did a good job. That's a problem of Joe messed up on that play. This is the last play Lucas Patrick played before he got injured. So you can see right here, one-on-one, he is getting pushed back, but he does a good job. Joe ends up taking off running and throwing the ball away. So not really too much of an issue. I see from Lucas' point of view here, actually does a pretty good job on that play. So across the board, I counted 2 mistakes on the night for Lucas Patrick, which again doubles his mistake counter from last week, but not really too much of an issue overall wise. Obviously, his one mistake being putting his hands up and, getting just short on that one play where Joe got sacked. But on the other play, the other sack, that's on Joe. You got to roll up to the right-hand side, dude. You got to go step up in the pocket. If you start stepping backwards to the left-hand side, you're going to have a problem. Tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. See you guys next one.